Do you feel that the rising tide of Islam, the increase, the exponential growth in Islam is the greatest challenge facing the church today?
The growth of Islam is a real concern. You have to understand that militantism that's going on and a sense of renewing their identity vis-a-vis the world that has for a long time denigrated Muslims because of many things that are in Islam, plus the added resources, has given a lot of impetus for Islam, and they are really invading a lot of areas. But we must not become, as believers, a people of fear, but rather people of faith. Islam today is a challenge, but not in the way that people think sometimes. We know that Islam wants to dominate the world. Their agenda is known, it's clear. I mean, it has become evident. If we ignored it before, especially in the West and in the churches, say, of America and the Western world at large, or even the African country, if we ignored that before, well, no longer. We know what Islam is up to. The goal is to dominate the world with the religion of Islam and to obliterate anything and everything else. That is a fact. That is something I grew up with. That is something that has become a cause, a reality that hundreds of millions of Muslims have embraced to varying degrees. So we can get the idea here that, oh, they're going to take over everything. The church is threatened and so forth. Yes, there is a threat, but let me tell you this. Islam will never, never, never dominate the world. It will not take over the world. I can give you at least 5 reasons. One of them, Jesus said, this gospel shall be preached to all creation before the end comes. So the gospel will be there at the end, and the preaching of the gospel will have reached every ethnic group on the face of this earth before the end. Jesus promised that. So that's, to me, a statement here that says Islam will never dominate. Secondly, Jesus said that nothing will ever obliterate his church. He will build his church, and all of the strategy of hell cannot overcome it. The church will be there at the end. Thirdly, take into account the fact that he told us in many of his teachings that it is inevitable that wheat and tares would be found together. But nowhere is there any teaching indicating to us that the tares are so going to overwhelm the wheat that the wheat will disappear. No, there will be a harvest of wheat. The church will be there. Islam will not dominate, even though the tares are there. Another reason is that Jesus said he is going to come back to gather his own. So the church will be there. Islam will not dominate. Furthermore, keep in mind that he has promised us that this gospel is for whosoever. He has never excluded the Muslim world. Sometimes we get the idea that the gospel, Jesus, when he comes, is going to destroy the enemies, etc. And we think of individuals. I don't think Jesus is out to destroy Muslims. I think that we need to understand as believers that there is a challenge for us, yes. First of all, in our hearts, to understand that Jesus died for Muslims. Jesus loves Muslims. Jesus, the Bible doesn't tell us that he died for Islam. He doesn't love Islam. He didn't die for Islam. But he did die for Muslims, and he loves Muslims. And that's what we need to grasp and to understand that though the challenge is great, we are promised victory. But we can't be just complacent. Souls are perishing. And unless we do something about the Muslim world, which is the last great frontier in missions, unless we do something, we forfeit a great opportunity, and the enemy will make advances, and the battle will be even that much harder down the road. Our stewardship is that we should take this gospel and exclude no one, especially not in this hour, especially not the Muslim.